Hey everybody, welcome to the RBA show. Today we have a treat for you. Here's Mr. Warner Cruz, brother from another mother, okay? So we represented Warner and he just had a very successful exit and I kind of invited him to share his story. So Warner, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I want to get right to it, right? When did you know? Because you had a really successful business. You were dominating your market. You're having a great time. You had fantastic employees who loved you. But when did you know that it was time?
Well, you know, what's crazy is we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
The Rosebrooks introduced me to you a long time. Strong Catholic man, and I always admired you from afar, but I never thought that we would actually do something together.
Right.
Selling my business was not something that I thought I'd be doing. The legacy with my family, perhaps maybe my children one day taking the business over. But Phil Rosebrook Sr., who I love dearly, told me, hey, you should take a look at the market right now, how much multiples are, what the bubbles that the interest that private equity has in your space.
Yeah.
You should do yourself a favor and at least research it and find out what your company's worth.
Right.
So Phil Jr. set up my first meeting at a trade show, and I feel that he set it up in a pretty busy space.
Yeah,
and after that, the floodgates opened up. And when I was bombarded with opportunities, not only did I have good friends around me that would advise me, I know the Rosebrooks would,
Right.
but I thought it was appropriate to bring someone that I trusted, that I respected in to help me kind of maneuver through the waters.
Right. So, you know, a lot of people that are watching, and there's we're at a trade show here, you know, they all talk about price. And I know money and price is important to take care of your family. But, you know, our discussions quickly turned to who was the best fit. Correct?
Right.
Let's talk about that. How your attention turned to who was the best acquirer for my company.
So maybe my situation was a little unique. I was very blessed to be in a big market. Chicago's a big market, and being a big independent company was obviously in my favor. I didn't need that much money.
Right.
What was more important to me is what was going to happen to all my employees that have helped me get to where we are. I mean, I have employees that started with my dad that still work for me.
Yeah.
I have employees that English isn't their first language, but man, at 2 a.m. when a place this big has a loss, they're there with the team. So to me, the most important thing was what's going to happen to my employees? How can I team up with an organization that is really going to look after them, to care and love them as much as I do.
Right.
And I needed to be assured that they weren't just going to become, axed.
So finding the right fit, finding someone that's going to be a good shepherd of your company post-closing becomes really important.
Cared about culture as much as I did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's go now to the process.
Oh man, the process.
We had 11 o'clock calls, 12 o'clock midnight calls.
Man.
You know, there's definitely a buyer side and a seller side, as much as we are all professionals and we respect each other. But there are people on either side of the table with sometimes different interests.
For sure.
Right? So let's talk about what did the process look like for you? What do you remember from it?
It was emotional.
Yes.
You know, I didn't think I was going to allow my emotions to get to me.
Yes.
And you helped me through that. I thought that it was going to be a transaction. I thought that it was going to be, I was all about win-win.
Yeah.
And you know, the process of the numbers and the financials, and I had a great CFO, I had a great financial team, you gave us great advice, so we were able to provide the things that we needed to so that due diligence could get done.
Yeah.
It was the emotional part when we were at the 11th hour. Every little request, every little issue became emotional.
Correct.
Because it was like one of the
It's your baby.
It was like one of the last things that I was going to be able to control before it was over.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll share with you now, you remember that day of the closing, you came and you flew in.
Yes, I flew in that morning.
I knew how busy you were, and it meant a lot to me that you made your way out. And man, within an hour's time, I was in tears. I was laughing out loud. It was your involvement that helped me say, all right, let's do this. And my faith in God.
Yeah.
I mean, we prayed through. I prayed about it. My family prayed about it the entire time. There are no regrets. It was emotional though. And if you are out there and you're considering it and you think, oh, I'll get through it, I did too.
Yeah.
And at the end, it was emotional.
Yeah, but we got it done.
We got it done.
We got it done, and so I know you're busy. I'll ask you one more quick question. So there's a lot of people out watching. A lot of people know who you are. You're a legend in this industry. You know, what would you tell them about the process? If they're thinking of exiting, if they're thinking of, hey, maybe it's time to hand the baton over, you know, what would you tell them? What would be that one piece of advice you'd give them?
So I am very blessed where I had a lot of people that I could talk to candidly, who cared about me and my organization and gave me good advice.
Right.
You know, I'm a huge believer that this industry has, every time you go to a trade show, network, get to know people, get to make friendships, relationships, so that if there's a loss or a situation with an employee, you can call somebody and say, hey, help me out here.
Right.
Have you ever had a situation like this? This situation, this transaction that you may be contemplating could be the biggest transaction, could be the biggest decision you ever make for your life, for your family.
Right.
You need to have a confidant, you need to have somebody that you can trust, you can have conversations with, you can get upset about, you can blow up, you can ask for advice, you can tear up, maybe ask for a hug. But there's got to be somebody that joins you throughout the process, because there's so many options in this market that is as volatile as it's ever been in our industry.
Yeah.
You need to have something you can really talk to and say, hey, what about this? And, oh, I like that idea. If you don't have that, you need to find somebody, a broker, a friend, a confidant, a consultant that can help you through the process. Because that's my biggest, your numbers, you know, if you get an evaluation and you're not ready, hey, wait 6 months, wait a year. There's always going to be a market for a good restoration company, a profitable restoration company. But creating that relationship with a confidant in this industry that if it were to happen, you can talk to and trust.
Right, perfect.
That's my suggestion.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for doing
no problem.
this. So
no
everybody,
problem,
here's a treat for you, Warner Cruise. Thanks for watching.